So I'm going to do a short video on the requirement to have a repealing clause. So the repealing clause is required on the new law to show that it's repealed the old law. The old law would no longer then be in effect because it was repealed by the new law. The new law would say this law repeals the whatever law of, and then it would have a date. That's usually how it's written. It could be written maybe in a little bit different way. The founders of the government understood about repealing clauses because they've written repealing clauses in other laws that came before and after the Constitution and the Articles of Confederation. So repealing the Articles of Confederation, it never happened because the repealing clause would have to be in the Constitution. There isn't one. As a matter of fact, the Constitution acknowledges the Articles of Confederation in 3 places because the Articles of Confederation says the style of the Confederacy is the United States of America. So in the preamble for the Constitution, it starts off with, "We the people of the United States." The United States are the federal lands. Do some things for the United States of America. The United States is the Confederation. The Confederation is firmly the friendship, which are all the states that were free, sovereign, and independent, and still are, who created the federal government. Later on, in the middle of the preamble, it says a more perfect union. A more perfect union, well, what was the union before? The union before was the Articles of Confederation. The Articles of Confederation is a firmly the friendship between the states. It's a union. The second union, a more perfect union, is a constitution for defense with the sea purposes. We also see this in Article 2, Section 1, under the presidency, who has 2 offices. The president has 2 offices. The first one is the executive of the United States of America. So he's the executive to the free, sovereign, and independent states under the Articles of Confederation. He's the executive to the United States of America. Article 2, Section 2, if you want to read on, says the president is the chief commander-in-chief of the land and naval forces of the United States, the land and naval forces of the federal government, the government created by the states under the Articles of Confederation. They had to be free, sovereign, and independent in order to create a constitution, in order to create something for defense purposes. Okay, so the Constitution was created for a more perfect union for defense purposes. Defense is shown in the Law of Nations, written by Emeric de Vattel, who was a Frenchman. Defense is spelled with a C. It's a French word. And he says that it's a good government that defends itself. The Articles of Confederation needed an amendment. The amendment came with the Constitution. It was an amendment. The amendment preamble is right there. It shows you all these things. And that's basically, it's telling you what was amended. The Constitution amended the Articles of Confederation. It didn't alter it. It didn't abolish it. It didn't change it. It didn't do anything to it except for amend it. That's all it did. It created a more perfect union for defense with the sea purposes, so that the states could fortify themselves. That's what defense with the sea means, to fortify. Emeric de Vattel wrote in the Law of Nations that it's a good government that fortifies itself.